by the Aotearoa Boat Company. Under 18 Coxless Pier, and we'll have King's College in 1, St Bede's College in 2, their second crew and their first crew in lane 3, Westlake Boys High School in 4, St Thomas of Canterbury in 5, Sacred Heart College in lane 6, St Kennigan's College in lane 7, Auckland Grammar School in lane 8. This should be a beauty. King's College, St Bede's, Westlake, St Thomas all have crews in the Maadi Cup final, set to go 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Sacred Heart will be in that final as well, and they've only ever won the Maadi Cup once, and that was back in 1948, the second time the event took place. St Bede's, well, they've won the Maadi Cup on 2 occasions, 1991 and of course in the most dramatic of fashions 2 years ago, when they beat Hamilton Boys High School at this very venue by 5/100ths of a second. So a number of these young men in this Coxless Pier final will be members of those 8s challenging for the 78th edition of the Great Race. St Bede's wonderful rowing program. Dale Maher has done a fantastic job in terms of building that. Second last year in that Maadi Cup final, winners 2 years ago, looking to try and win their third. Certainly the challenge will come from Westlake Boys High School, and I just wonder whether in this race we might have a bit of a prelude to that, because Westlake are in 4. St Bede's crews, both of them will be on their inside, and then outside of them St Thomas of Canterbury, Paddy Dowling having done just a superb performance in bringing that rowing program. They've only been rowing at St Thomas of Canterbury for the past 20 years. As we do get underway in one of the real blue ribbon events, this A final, 2,000 metres. Here we go, really good even start. Good fast start coming from Sacred Heart College of George Marshall and Blake Cooper in lane 6. And then down there in lane 4, it is the Westlake crew of Jack Buckley, George Langley, coached by, of course, former world champion coxswain Andy Hay, Jordan Stanley, the son of the great Mike Stanley. So very much running in the family when it comes to Westlake boys rowing. Wouldn't they love to grab it? Wouldn't they love to grab the Maadi Cup tomorrow? St Bede's versus Westlake. Only this time it is the under 18 Coxless pairs. Lane 6, good start here again from Sacred Heart. They'll just be wanting to get out quickly, just get that boat speed up and then look to try and just lengthen out. Nice start too from King's College of Ben Muta, Fergus Meredith, their coach Mike Hasselback. But lane 6 putting the pressure on early. Sacred Heart asking a few questions of Westlake boys here. Got to make sure though that they stick to their strategy. How have they set their training up? Have they set it up to be fast through the first 1,000, look to hold on over the second 1,000? Is it about just being steady through the first 500, looking to build through that 500 metre mark to the 1,500 metre mark? You cannot train one way and then race another way. Training is about showing your body in training what happens on race day down to the smallest details. And so the Red Swans of Westlake, Sacred Heart. Again, another school in East Auckland, Westlake on Auckland's North Shore. And so it's strategic at the moment, and then it becomes incredibly tactical. What is going through the minds of these young men? And it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot. And then it's about trying to break it down from the 1,000 to the 1,500 metres, the 1,500 metres through to the 1,750, and then it's just a case of hanging tough. You've got to have mental fortitude. You've got to have that ability to suffer. Wonderful little street fight beginning to develop between these two great Auckland schools. Westlake boys across there in 4, Sacred Heart in 6. And just look at the hurt too. Often say this, and you'll hear me throughout the days in different commentaries, and often our audience is changing all the time. Don't look at facial expressions necessarily, look at the form. You start to see the shoulders drop, a little bit more head movement, maybe just starting to shorten up a little bit on their strokes. That is often a sign of fatigue, but there is nothing here between The Maadi Westlake boys and Sacred Heart. Look at that, bell ball for bell ball. There's very much game on. Really good race for third place at the moment. Across there in lane 2, we've got St Bede's College number 2. Outside of them, the St Bede's number 1 crew. And then sitting between Westlake boys and Sacred Heart is St Thomas of Canterbury, Darby Renata, Luca Damiani. Oh, it's a tough sport. It is brutal. That ability to suffer. And it will come down to which one of these crews is prepared to hurt the most. Now we just start to see Westlake have just taken it up another notch here. So Westlake boys try and take control. Buckley and Langley really starting to lift their rating. Now it comes down to Sacred Heart. Can they respond? So this has been brilliant tactically from Westlake boys. Can they respond? The challenge, the questions have been asked now of Sacred Heart. What are the answers to those questions? Because Westlake have just dialed it up another notch. They have just said, look, here we go. This is our move. This is what we've done tactically. Can you hang in? Can you respond? Really good display here from Westlake Boys High School. Looking to try and pick up this gold medal in the boys under 18 Coxless pair, coached by the great Andy Hay. Jordan Stanley sitting there nervously on the banks of Karapedo. Sacred Heart, though, now starting to fight back, starting to lift their rating a little bit through this ever critical 500 metres here, this third 500. So settle back, folks. Here we go. Really good race beginning to develop. Back there too, the race for third place, both St Bede's crews. St Thomas of Canterbury, wouldn't they love desperately to get themselves on the podium? Such a young rowing program, St Thomas. Talking to members of their coaching staff and parents, they were saying they raised $35,000 in 6 weeks. They sold 700 cheese rolls to get here. They've only had a program for 20 years. Their goal was just to get into a final, and now they've got crews in a number of the boats, and of course they'll make their first ever appearance in a Maadi Cup final, set to go at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But it's Westlake boys who take control as we come through that 1500 metre mark. And this is a very good display here of Coxless pair rowing from Jack Buckley, George Langley, the Red Swans. Is this a statement? Is this what they're wanting to say? It's not just the peers, guys. Watch out for our 8s crew, the North Island champions. Again, the last time they won the Maadi Cup, well, it was 1984. It's been 41 years. They've won it on 3 occasions, 1976, 1983 and 1984. I think Mike Stanley might have been a member of that 1976 crew. His son now, Jordan Stanley, coaching this Westlake revival, this Westlake revolution. And it looks like with just over 250 metres to row that Westlake will pick up a gold medal here on the penultimate day, on finals day here at the Maadi Regatta for 2025. Good race for third. Hanging tough though, desperately wanting to get that silver medal is Sacred Heart of George Marshall and Blake Cooper. But nobody by the looks of it is going to know the might of Westlake boys. The Red Swans are starting to fly, folks. They're lifting. The bow ball is high. We ask everybody on the banks of Karapedo to lift, to welcome these two young men home. They look good. They look comfortable. Form is great. It is Westlake in control. What a moment for this school. Such a proud school, such a school. The likes of Eric Verdonk, some of the great rowers have come out of Westlake over the years. Mike Stanley is mentioned. It's a good program. It's just starting to really re-establish itself. And what a moment for them. A commanding performance. Equally to Sacred Heart will get themselves on the podium. And by the looks of it, just sitting there in the middle of both, it will be St Thomas of Canterbury. A wonderful moment for them if they can pick up the bronze medal, get ahead of the two St Bede's schools. Because, of course, they are based in Christchurch themselves. They train on the Selwyn River. But coming down to win gold, to pick up a national title in the boys under 18 Coxless pair, it is Westlake boys of Jack Buckley, George Langley. What a moment for them. Silver will go the way of Sacred Heart of George Marshall and Blake Cooper. And stand up, St Thomas of Canterbury. That is a very, very good performance from you. Bronze medal to Darby Renata, Luca Damiani, and their coach, Paddy Dowling. Wonderful crowds. Westlake there in support. And look what it means to them. They etched their name in the history books. From this moment on, they will forever be New Zealand secondary school rowing champions, Maadi Regatta winners.